Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams and I am a voice teacher and a vocal coach for Vocal Splendor Studios. Today I'm doing another reaction video. This time I'm going way back to react to Sarah Vaughan performing Misty. Yes, she's one of my favorites and I'm really excited to hear this live recording. So let's listen to Sarah Vaughan. They called her Sassy. Let's have a listen.
Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very nervous up here. I got a cold today. Today I got to do TV. I got a cold. That's fine. But anyway, I do hope that you are enjoying our show. And right now I'd like to do a little tune that I recorded while I was over here not in Stockholm, but while I was in Paris in '58. Tune that was written by Errol Gardner. And I do hope you enjoy Misty. I'm sorry I don't speak your language.
Oh my goodness, this is so cute. She is so adorable. I actually saw Sarah Vaughan live when I was in college and I remember it so well. Me and my roommate drove to the Idaho because she was performing at University of Idaho. And we almost got killed because our car blew out. It was definitely worth seeing it. And we got to see her live and me and my roommate were just, Sarah Vaughan, Sarah Vaughan. And so I was really fortunate to see her. Of course, she was nearing the end of her career. She wasn't the hot babe she is now, but still such a dramatic, enchanting singer. And it's so fun to see her. She seems so sweet and so girly, but her voice is anything but. Let's keep going.
Tack så mycket.
Tack så mycket. Thank you very much in Swedish.
Look at me. I'm as helpless as a kitten up a tree. Feel like I'm clinging to a cloud I can't understand. I get misty just holding your hand. Walk my way. And 1,000 violins begin to play. Might be the sound of your hello, that music I hear. I get misty the moment you're near.
Okay, right before we go into the bridge, I admit, Sarah Vaughan was my idol in college. I wanted to be just like her. Not gonna happen. I do not have her voice or her tone or anything, but she was a huge, huge influence to me. And once again, when you watch her, you see the eyes close. You see that tuning in to the emotion and the feeling. But Sarah is just iconic. She was ultimately just as popular as Ella Fitzgerald. Most people know Ella Fitzgerald, but not everybody knows Sarah Vaughan. And I love Ella, but I've always just loved Sarah with that luscious voice, the vibrato. She definitely could have gone into a classical career, such a powerful instrument, but the way she uses it, she doesn't sound like an opera singer because she's doing a lot of stylistic things, bringing out, this what I call negative space, these back phrasing, and really just feeling the motion in the music and sensing the collaborative nature of the whole rhythm section, because that's what jazz is. Everybody listens together and they play off each other. So let's keep going.
You can see that you are leading me on.
the control. Notice she went, so she could go from that vibrato, the fluttery vibrato. She definitely had vibrato, that's for sure. But she could go into that straight tone and do a lot of bending and the pauses. The pauses are important. It's not like she needs a breath, but she's adding emphasis to the emotional content by breathing in places that create space.
On my own. Would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. You can see that you're leading me on. And it's just what I want you to do.
Okay, I'm going to stop just now for those of you guys that don't really know a lot about jazz and what jazz singers do. So she basically sang the whole form. And then she went back to the bridge, and notice this is not really the melody. It's not the real melody that Errol Gardner wrote. She's improvising it. Now, some jazz singers do scatting, and Ella and Sarah scats, but for a ballad, what jazz singers do is they kind of reinvent the melody. And it's not like, oh, I'm going to do something crazy. It's actually to increase more emotional content. So that's what jazz singers will often do. They're not going to scat, but they're going to change up the melody just a bit to bring out more emotional energy. And the other thing that's happening with the rhythm section, of course, they're not playing arrangements. They're all kind of being inspired by each other. And as Sarah creates all this negative space, the piano player and the drummer are filling it in a very tasteful way. And that's what jazz musicians do. They play off each other. That's what's so magic about jazz in the moment. It's completely unscripted and it's different every time.
Don't you notice how hopelessly I'm lost? That's who I follow in you. On my own. Would I wander through this wonderland alone? Never knowing my right foot from my left, my hat from my glove. I'm too misty and too much in love. We get too misty and too much
Cool.
in love.
All right. That was so fun for me. To be honest, I haven't watched a lot of live videos. I forget. I had all these albums back in the day and I listened to Sarah constantly. She was absolutely my most favorite singer. And just seeing her in the moment, in her prime, it was so amazing. And the band was great. super awesome. And she's so sweet and so kind. But what I love, so let's just kind of break down. I did talk a bit about what jazz singers do. They typically go through the form of the song and they kind of make it their own. And then on the return, as she went through the bridge again, she kind of played with things. She played with the phrasing. Now, what jazz singers do is sometimes they play with the rhythm and sometimes they play with the melody. And they create some of that space, and that's kind of what is expected when you sing jazz. You're going to make it your own, but not in a show-off way, but in emotional component way. So she was just so gifted at that. And I didn't know at the time when I was a huge fan of her in college that she also was a piano player. Yay, like me. So she actually had that musicianship skills. There's, I think, some videos where she actually plays piano as well. But her voice is just so incredibly gorgeous. Now, the other thing with her is you can tell her technique, I love to talk about technique, is really good. You know, she keeps her chest upright. She has that loose jaw. And she uses her mouth, again, before this was even a belting or pop rock, she'd go, look at me. So she'd create a little bit of, round lips and so she would use the mouth to create interesting shapes and sounds. Now, that said, could you hear her breath control? I hate the word breath control. I hate it. But she could spin things on a dime. She could go from the and just spin it out. Her dynamic control was impeccable, and her presence was so real. You could feel the emotion and just the shyness and sweetness, that very last. So at the very end of that song, we call that a rubato. It's kind of a tag ending, meaning that we repeat the last phrase a couple of times, and then it was drawn out. It was really drawn out. And at the very end, she's just kind of like grinning. And then we're like, what's going to happen next? And then she lets it out and just creates this amazing song. Even the whole band, you could tell the band was going, whoa, that was really great. Really great. And there she was in Sweden, of all places, in 1964. But yeah, it was so fun to see. And that voice as velvet is just so gorgeous. And when I saw her I don't know when she passed away, but it was definitely, near the end of her career, she still had that gorgeous voice. The voice really hadn't changed that much. She just wasn't as adventuresome, because I think as she got older, she kind of did some similar things, but she still had that great presence and just that luscious voice and just so much. So I know everybody loves Ella. Ella's awesome. Everybody knows who Ella is, but everybody should know Sarah Vaughan, because she was just an impeccable singer that had so much integrity and so much musicianship and so much style. I still love her to this day, and I hope you guys got a little taste of the magic of the great, sassy Sarah Vaughan. All right, let me know, you jazz fans, you Sarah Vaughan fans, what other Sarah Vaughan live recordings should I listen to, and what other classic jazz singers should I listen to? There's so many. And I told you, jazz was my first love. Really, I just discovered jazz as a young person, and it just spoke to me. And so there's so many great jazz singers that should be more well known. And I should also say, in this era, the 50s and 60s, a lot of jazz singers were well known. They recorded kind of pop type of recordings with orchestras. And so those singers of the day had a different kind of career. So they went to jazz clubs and really got really jazzy, but then they just sing these more orchestrated pieces as well. All right, so I'd love to hear from you what other jazz songs I should listen to from other people. There's tons to choose from. But yeah, Sarah's my first jazz reaction. Also, I want to let you know that I am teaching on this shutdown. I have been teaching online since 2011 when I started doing my YouTube channel, and I've literally worked with people from all over the world, from beginners to professionals, including rock singers to opera singers. So if you're interested in lessons, please go to my website at vocalsplendor.com and send me a message, and I will be happy to talk to you and see if you're ready for lessons. Also, I have a free Facebook group called Creative Soul Alignment, and you can find that in the descriptions below. And it's a group where we talk about spirituality and creativity and the spiritual arts. And so it's a really great group because music is spiritual. It affects us. And I feel like this is a real important thing for us to realize at this really dark time, that our creativity is going to save us. And as creators, we imagine in our mind what we want to create, and then we do it. And we have that power even now. Even now we can do that. Also, and I want to let you know of one more thing. I am stepping into the YouTube coach market, and I'm hosting a online course and a free training. And I have another Facebook group called, that's it, YouTube Success Strategies. And I think I'll leave the link in that. So if you're interested in following me and learning to maximize your YouTube, that's the place to be. All right, take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.